Hello everybody, it's Shane and I'm live at Pulse Personal Training this morning because I want to weigh in on the debate about heavy weight versus high repetitions. And I saw a video this morning where it was trying to motivate people and it was saying the key to growing muscle is doing heavy weight for high reps. And it just drove me nuts because based on definitions, and I'm going to lay out some definitions for the start of this video, that's not possible, okay? So what is a heavy weight, right? First of all, it's relative. What's heavy to me might not be heavy to you, or what you're doing might be heavier than what I can do. So you can't look at what someone else is doing for what heavy is. Heavy is something you cannot do more than 6 good repetitions of. If you cannot lift it 6 times, then it is by definition heavy. We could also use a percentage of your known 1 repetition maximum, but for our conversation today, less than 6 means it's heavy. Moderate weight is going to be anything you can do between 6 and 20 of. 6 and 20 of. Moderate weight, okay? And then light weight, for the purposes of this discussion, is going to be anything you can do more than 20 of. So, this video basically said the key to growing muscle is to do heavy weight for high reps. Now, based on the definitions that I just gave you, how can you do heavy weight, which is something you can only do 6 of or less, for high repetitions? It's a linguistic no-go. So what it is, when you meet people or when you hear people talking about, well, how I built my body was I did heavy weight for high reps, that's ego bullshit, okay? They either don't understand what they're saying or they're trying to say something that paints them in a way that they sound tough or strong, or they just might misunderstand literally how they built their body, which, by the way, is why you don't just hire someone who knows how to train themselves to be your personal trainer. They may not have any idea how they got there, let alone how to get you there. So when you see somebody talk about doing heavy weight for high reps, I have questions, because if it's truly heavy, you can't do more than 6. And if you're saying, well, I do cluster sets where, I do 5, take a break, do 5, take a break, that's not a straight set. So you didn't do high repetitions, you did high volume. Volume is the amount of work done in a given workout. So you can do heavy weight for high volume, right? What if you did 10 sets of 5? That's a lot of volume with heavy weight, but you did not do high repetition work. And let's talk about what high repetition work is and why just using heavy weights isn't the right answer. Because in any given training program, if it's truly a 12-month, year-to-year phased linear program, there's going to be periods where you do need to use heavy weights. Whether we're trying to build strength, or we're using the heavy weights to build more muscle, or to make our hypertrophy phase more effective. You will have periods of low repetition, heavy weight work. And then on the other side of that spectrum, you're probably going to have a period of something called lactate threshold training, or some very high repetitions. We're talking sets extending above 20 and into 30 sometimes, because in order to get your muscle through an entire spectrum of training, you need to train the strong parts of your muscle, less than 6 reps, the moderate parts of your muscle, the muscular endurance zone, from 6 to 20, and then there will be points where for many, many reasons you're going to need to occasionally go into that lactate threshold, up to nearly 30 repetitions. That stuff is not easy, and generally the reason you see people lifting less than 15 reps is because less than 15 is about the time when you start to build up that lactic acid. It starts to burn, it starts to hurt, you start to get winded. So I guess the point of this isn't really to tell you what you should be doing, it's just that you need to be careful when you're listening to other people's advice. Because if you said, hey, I'm trying to build muscle, and some bro at the gym was like, hey bro, the way you do that is you lift heavy weight for high reps, man, that's a recipe for injury. I mean, literally, if it's heavy enough that you can't do it more than 6 times, how are you going to do sets of 15 with something that's limited to 6? Are you going to have somebody do 6 or 7 forced repetitions because you didn't lift that? Are you going to do some sort of crazy triple drop set protocol? Because you better be an advanced lifter to pull that stuff off. I watched that video this morning where they were talking about heavy weight for high reps, and I'm just sitting there, I'm walking on the treadmill doing some cardio, and it's just melting my brain because I hear that from so many people. Well, you got to do heavy weight for high reps. And when you speak to someone who knows phased training, that sounds ridiculous, because if it's really heavy, you can't do high reps. Cool? Cool. Heavy weight, low reps, 1 to 6. Anything other than that is going to be muscular endurance or very much endurance training. So don't get caught up listening to those people that say the heavy weight for high reps is right. It's not even a thing, okay? And if you have questions about programming or why something like that would be bad advice, or if you don't want to take the time to learn all of this stuff on your own, that's literally why I exist. Personal trainers have a repository of this information in here, and we do all the thinking for you. You come in, we tell you what to do, you work out, you leave, success. We get caught up in the details so you don't have to. Cool? Cool. Shane, Pulse, personal training. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, hit the share button. See you next time.